Minecraft, at its core, is a reflection of us. The way we explore, the way we build, and the way we learn to leave our mark behind. But at its core, what makes Minecraft Minecraft? In Minecraft, we have these mobs that, though they may seem inconsequential, each of them come together to create this circle of life. Some mobs in Minecraft feel small, and you could even argue that they're useless. Like they truly serve no real purpose, right? We'll think of the bat, or the squid, or the wandering trader. But if you look closer at these things, you see that nothing here is truly useless. Every creature is a thread in the fabric of this world, whether we notice it or not, and maybe that's the point. That even what feels pointless still belongs. It's no coincidence that deep within birch tree forests we can find wildflowers growing. It's only through the help of bees pollinating them that they can truly grow. Or a magma block that sits at the bottom of the ocean, who seems only like a hazard, but truly it breathes life into the ocean itself. And though the lava is dangerous, it becomes a necessity when it mends with the water and creates the cobblestone that makes up the foundation of this earth that we play on. Even when you look at a scene where you believe there is no life to be had, and there's simply only dread, I promise you that even within that dreary sight, there's still movement, the earth still rotates, life still grows, and time moves on. Let's take a look at villagers, someone more familiar to us that we can relate to. Let's ask the question, what is it like to live a life as a villager? What did they do with their day? The life of a villager is a little bit more complex than the rest of them. This villager, he's a farmer. So this villager tills the soil, plants the seeds, and tends the crops day after day. And to us, it might seem simple or even meaningless, but in their routine lies a purpose, a quiet persistence that keeps the world alive, one harvest at a time. And these villagers will live their lives in this quiet, simple routine until the day that it ends. Until the day that they're met with a zombie, and everything is snatched away from them by one simple act. And by the time that the morning comes, the sun will rise and all hostile mobs will try and hide from the sun, but like all things, they return to the earth and they're given back to the world's rotation. And though every single mob in Minecraft is unique, they all live by the same three principles: do, live, and die. And that is the circle of life that we know in Minecraft. But one day, something new arrives. Something quite unnatural. Something that goes against the currents of time in this world, and something that has the properties to destroy or create. Something we call the player. Humble beginnings we always find ourselves starting at. Getting wood, the very first achievement majority of all Minecraft players will receive when they first get into their world. Wood is the template and the kickstart for all creation. But in this world, there's too many challenges to just allow ourselves to become an easy target, right? We have to gear up, we have to explore, we have to take what's ours. Because it's ours, right? Soon the player learns, it takes, it builds, and it grows powerful. And what was once survival becomes conquest. We see in these players curiosity being replaced by control. Though this player may sound scary, dear listener, don't fret. The world of Minecraft is simply too beautiful and too elegant and too vibrant and colorful to ever be defaced. Nothing could ever come in the way of the world. Why is the player continuing to do this? This doesn't follow the natural order of things. This isn't within the circle of life. The player, they've taken this beautiful landscape and they've taken the world for their own. They've taken what's not theirs, and they've terraformed these mountains and lakes and taken away the native land of all these species that used to live here. They forcibly relocated all the animals into the top of mountains, surely where it's too cold for them to simply survive. They're creating death where there was none before. They're throwing a cog in the machine. This is unnatural. And yes, I'll admit this seems beautiful. The flowers and the paths and the gardens. But beneath the surface is much more. We see that now the player isn't just taking the land for itself, but is also taking the lives with it. And though these villagers may still have their lives, is the life they have still worth living? This world finds itself scarred and abandoned. Farms will find themselves without harvest, mines will be without purpose, and dogs will be waiting at doors that will never open again. And then, silence. The player vanishes. This is what we call a 2-week phase. Brief 2-week period, we explore, conquer, and consume a world only to abandon it when it's no longer new. And in that short time, we leave a mark, but we rarely experience the world we've actually created. The world existed before the player, and it will continue to exist afterwards. The buildings that the player had left behind will decay, and the earth will learn to regrow itself through the destruction that the player left behind. It seems far-fetched, but let's really deep dive and take a closer look. There's aspects to this world, such as the abandoned portals that were left here by the player's ancestors, that are simply left to rot and decay now. Or like the mine shafts that were once not abandoned but now are. Other players were here before us. They left their mark, and so did we. So is the 2-week phase simply inevitable? It isn't a law of this land, the 2-week phase. It's a choice we made, and one that we agreed with within ourselves and in our communities, that this is simply how we play. No, the true circle of life for a player is not to enter, destroy, and disappear, but to nurture, expand, and remain. When we build with the world instead of against it, we discover something the rush to the end could never truly give us. Satisfaction, fulfillment, and most of all, a world that's worth returning to. The 2-week phase only exists if we let it. It ends when our patience ends. But it doesn't have to end at all. In Minecraft, and maybe in life, the circle continues only as long as we do. It is not just a theory, it's a history, and we see this throughout our worlds, but we're lucky enough to live in the present where the history has not yet been written. And maybe we can rewrite our futures, expand our worlds, see the beauty that is this world, and make it our own. The player plays this game as if it's about racing to the end or conquering every challenge in the shortest time, but they fail to see that it's about wonder, about curiosity, and about taking the time to explore, to create, and to watch the world grow alongside of you. When we play with patience, with childlike eyes, the game becomes bigger, richer, and far more alive than any 2-week rush could ever offer. Every player says they miss the old Minecraft, but fail to realize that Minecraft hasn't changed nearly as much as they have over the years. You are still living in the good old days, don't forget that. I'm sure soon you'll start getting the itch for Minecraft again, but when you load into that next world, pause and let yourself wonder. Let the land speak to you. And remember, the real adventure isn't just completing the game. No, the true joy of Minecraft isn't just getting to the end. Honestly, that's pretty boring. The true joy is found in living in the world that you are given.